Well, welcome to Chapter 3. Hope all is going along okay. You have forms to check, you have tests and quizzes to check, and you have videos to watch. Hey, this is all right. Remember the video library. Now, nothing has been assigned in the video library yet, but you have access to it. And in the video library, we will be working within the video library. You can find individuals who explain their disorders and talk about their disorders and so forth. And you may want to look around in there a little bit. Like I say, nothing has been assigned. It will not be assigned until Chapter 5. This is Chapter 3. Remember, we're taking about a chapter a week. And this section closes the 10th of October, just as a reminder. There'll be 8 chapters total, and I hope you folks do not wait until the 10th to submit, because it really gets interesting when individuals wait until the last day. All types of problems happen. So if you could submit in an orderly manner, that is great. And again, the reason for this is a self-paced component that you can go ahead and work ahead and complete a little bit sooner. Well, looking at clinical assessments and diagnosis, we have what is called the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. And it was in the 50s. It came out of the DSM-1, 2, 3 revised. Then they came out with a 4 text revised. Now we have the DSM-5. And notice they went from the numbering system. They changed it when they come out with the DSM-5. And going from Roman numerals to our Arabic numbers that we have here. So we do have a little change in here. The previous, if you have been working with the DSM, fine. They had what they called a multi-axis system. That is no longer in the DSM-5. And when you folks go on to further advanced studies, or if you want to pick up a DSM-5, feel free to go ahead and have one in your possession. That is entirely up to you. We're going to spend a little time on this. Not that much time, but at least we'll look at it, and each one of the DSM volumes was a way of assessing individuals. Now we have a mental status exam that is used for the intake interview. We have projective tests, the thematic apperception test, and the Rorschach ink blot test. Now those will be 2 assessments that you will be taking, and that's from your for your assignment for Chapter 3. In other words, for TAT, thematic apperception test, says write 3 stories. I believe there's 6 pictures. And whatever those pictures remind you of, write. Doesn't have to be long, but at least the person should have enough written to present a flow of the story. And so on 3 of those pictures, then on the ink blot, you look at the ink blot and just give a 1-word response. If you have to give a 2-word response or a phrase, that would be acceptable. But try to give just a 1-word response. And I believe that there are 8 ink blots. That's your assignment for Chapter 3. Now looking down through this, we have the Minnesota Multiphasic Personality Inventory. And I'm just bringing this to your mind. That's the MMPI. You will hear about the MMPI when you go into a mental health setting or when you go on and do graduate work. It's about 550 items. I mean, it is a long, long test, but it has a tendency to reveal fairly accurate reports. Now, I'm not going to say it's on all the time. None of these tests are on all the time. And all that these tests can do is respond to the information that is put into them. So as accurately as we can put information into them. Now we have some other tests that we're not going to do particularly now anyway. We may do them in a later chapter, but we have what is called the Big Five, as the acronym OCEAN, and it assesses individuals on 5 different areas. And then we have the Myers-Briggs, we have the temperament sorter, even True Colors is somewhat of an assessment. I don't know whether you've heard of True Colors, but individuals are classified by the various colors. And if you recall, we visited about Hippocrates. He had individuals being classified as far as their humor is concerned, and then they used seasons, winter and spring and summer and fall, and then they used directions also to classify individuals. What is interesting, Hippocrates lived around 400 BC. There's still some of the words that Hippocrates used still being used today. And so that's why it's important to become acquainted with them. This pretty much sums up the assessments. Assessments, I'm not just skimming over this, but assessments is certainly an important component of what we're doing in the mental health setting, because we want to be able to diagnose the individuals as well as we possibly can. This takes practice. And these assessments that are given are a tool. And a tool at times can be used very effectively, and at times it can be misused. So what is put down in these various assessments, and some of the assessments are becoming quite sophisticated, and they do a pretty good job of yielding results. What is important is that we want to remember that we are dealing with individuals. And as I've said before, I believe that the brain has as many various characteristics as what we have in the physical body, what we're able to observe. And we certainly wouldn't treat everyone's physical body the same. Some individuals can climb, some can run, some do a good job watching TV, eating popcorn, this type of thing. And so individuals are suited for different roles in our culture. Okay, this pretty much winds up assessments. Do not forget to go to assignments and complete your assessments for Chapter 3. And I will be visiting with you on Chapter 4.